healing and changing the world, leaving a real footprint in the world, is recognizing that we are not independent, we are interdependent. I am home in Bali. This is the little wooden joglo where I live, and I live right behind the local family here. So I'm going to show you what a Balinese compound looks like. America is a very individualistic society. It's a very individualistic way of living compared to other parts of the world where it's more communal.
Yeah, anytime you just take.
Oh, terima kasih.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
They told me whenever I need to, I could stop by and take rice from the family kitchen. It's more community, more interdependent ways of living, especially places like Bali. For example, in America, one of the biggest differences that I notice is that when you get to, let's say, 18 years old, and this might not be for all American households or even all communities in America, but if you exceed that particular age and you are still living at home with your parents, or you are still dependent on your community or your family, hyper dependent, or even need more time, it's not as inviting or welcoming. In my community, for example, it's at 18, you should be out of the house. At 18, the family, the parent has done everything that they can do for you. And it's almost like a sense of relief that the child is leaving and now I can have my life back. Again, this might not be for every household. Whereas in places like Indonesia, they live in something called compounds. Several generations are living together. No one leaves the home until you are married off into another family in which you go to their compound as a woman. But otherwise, you live amongst your grandmother, you live amongst your mother, your father, you live amongst your sister or your brother, and you all stay together for as long as necessary. You still are in society. You all still have your tasks and your responsibilities. Maybe while one generation is out making money or taking care of business, the grandmother is home taking care of the grandchildren and taking care of the task at home. So it's a very different way of living. And so in America, we are taught since we are very young to strive, to work hard, exert a lot of effort, to be ambitious, to get ahead in the world, get ahead through making a lot of money, get ahead through success, get ahead through fame, just get ahead. And for a lot of us, at some point, that might start to feel unrealistic or unsustainable because our idea of getting ahead might be very different than the American way of getting ahead. And we might start to feel alone and disconnected and like we don't really have anyone, or that we have to figure everything out by ourselves. And I think over time, this can be a very difficult way to live because then you start to feel you're already disconnected from people who you are supposed to be close to, let alone going out into the world and finding connection with strangers. And I think one of the biggest things that happens is that because America teaches us how to be independent, that we completely forget that we are interconnected. We forget the fact that it's impossible. It is literally impossible to live without other people. There's a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King that says, before we finish our breakfast, we've already depended on half of the world. And this is an insight that I believe is left out of American culture, American value systems, is that we depend on each other, and not just on a surface level, but We are dependent on so many people, the people who build our homes, the who deliver things to our houses so we can be comfortable, the people who show up to work every day for us to be able to buy, for to make our lives easier, the people at the airports who also buy airplane tickets. The airport doesn't exist for one individual, it exists for all of these individuals. That's why the price is low. That's why we get to enjoy going to an airport and flying from one place to another. If it was just you, you would have to pay billions of dollars. And let's be real, not all of us have $1 billion or billions of dollars to show up at the airport and go wherever we want and have and just be the one person that's taking a flight. But because all of these people who are seemingly strangers to us, we get to benefit so much in so many different domains of our lives. We have coffee. There is somebody who is out planting this coffee. There is somebody who's delivering this coffee. There is somebody who opens this coffee shop. There are people who are running it. There's a manager. There are baristas and people who study and learn how to make you a good cup of coffee. Then we start to actually believe that we are independent. I used to say a lot when I was younger that I don't need anyone. I can do everything on my own. And that is impossible, period. There's no debate about it. None of us can live here on this planet alone. We depend on each other. We depend on our mother and our father just to be born into this world. So, this idea of hyper individualism, striving to get ahead, willing to step on other people's toes, willing to disregard other people, not considering our neighbors, not considering other people who come into our countries and who we benefit from in so many ways. If you just take a look at anything that you have around you in this moment, like I have this sweater on, and if you can just reflect and take a moment to see how many things had to happen, how many things literally had to happen for you to wear what you are wearing, eat whatever you eat every day, sleep wherever you are sleeping, to be able to make money, to have resources to take care of yourself and your family. This alone proves how we are interconnected. And what happens in America is that we get so wrapped up into individualism that we disconnect from each other. We disconnect from the land, we disconnect from all of the things that are benefiting us or that we are benefiting from. And then we start to be extremely self centered. All of our attention and our energy goes into ourselves. And when that happens, we don't think about other people. We don't consider other people. We don't care if the lady at the grocery store, we don't care if she showed up to work despite maybe having a death in the family or maybe going through an incredibly hard time, maybe even having a physical problem. It doesn't cross our mind the well-being of another person. But I think the more that we reflect on interconnectedness, we start to have more compassion for other people, have more consideration for other people, because we can actually see how this person is benefiting my life and how much I am getting just because this person has shown up to work, just because this person has answered the phone, like calling a call center and having some kind of difficulty and needing technical support, or the person who delivers your groceries or your food. Like, this all depends on so many factors. Are they healthy? Are their basic needs taken care of? The people that are supporting them, the things that they are eating, all of this. It's like an infinite world of interconnectedness that we miss out on. And that keeps us cold, that keeps us harsh, that keeps us closed, and that keeps us scared. That creates a lot of fear in us. And this is another thing that I think happens in America, is that not only is it an individualistic culture? Not only is it about getting ahead, taking care of yourself, making sure that you have a good life, making sure that you have a good living, and doing whatever you need to do to be able to have that opportunity for yourself and your family. But it also creates so much tension and fear in us. It makes us close to other people. It prevents us from actually being able to connect with another human being, which is a necessity. just because we're human. Like it's something that we need. And so we get really sick and we get very tired and we get very stressed out. All of that fear that we accumulate perpetuates this individualistic mindset. It perpetuates it because we really want to stay away from people because now we're scared of other people because we're scared that somebody else will take the opportunity from us. We're scared that this other person is different from us. I lived in an apartment building for years and I didn't know a single neighbor. And that can feel so normal. It's actually normalized. And I think a lot of places in America, it's normalized to live next door to someone for years and years and not know anything about them. But after a few minutes, like when you move into a place in Bali, after a few minutes, the entire family, you know everybody. You are like everybody knows who you are. Baru bangun apa? Gunung oh stop. Ya Gunung Kawi. Di mana warung? Warung di sana, warung saya di sana. Ya bagus. Saya mau makan. Bisa? Iya, 2 kali udah. Oh, kira-kira nasi goreng? Oh. Ya, nasi biasa. Putih. Nasi putih? Ya. The entire village knows who you are. The other day I was here in this wooden home that I'm staying in, and it's actually right behind the family's compound. They built it behind their compound. And the other day, some of the members from the community came and were talking to me about something that they're doing in the community. And I was just like, this is it's incredible. Like it's just so incredible. How do they know that I'm here? How do they, how I haven't even been out. And the grandmother, we don't even speak the same language. I speak very little Indonesian and she comes here every morning talking to me. She comes here every morning. Sometimes she sits down and she's just talking and I'm just like, "Yes, Ibu." Ibu is grandmother or mother here in Bali is how you say grandmother or mother, or you give respect to an older woman. And we just chat. And I don't even know half the time what we're talking about, but it just feels so warm. Like I feel like I have my mother here. I feel like I have, this like my grandmother is here. The the mother of the family, she comes to my room every night and she comes inside and sits with me. Also, we don't speak the same language. She doesn't speak fluent English. I don't speak fluent Bahasa Indonesia. And we sit and we talk and we translate things and we talk about meditation. We talk about relationships. We talk about what's going on in the community. And there is something that is missing. Like this is something that is missing in places like America because we are so scared of each other or we are so busy trying to get ahead because this is what we've been taught since we were in grade school. It's about scoring perfectly on the test. It's about being at the top of the class. It's about scoring higher and making better grades and having better behavior than all the other students in the classroom. There is very little about relationship skills, relationships to people and things around us, about community, global awareness, about actually taking care of things in life. And while, of course, it's very important that we educate our mind, it's very important that we become more intelligent and that we learn how to take care of ourselves. Of course, we need education and intelligence to be able to take care of ourselves and survive in the world as far as having our basic needs taken care of. Also, we have to learn how to educate our heart. And I think this has been I feel so grateful for programs like C Learning, social, ethical, and emotional learning from University that focuses on as an actual curriculum in school, just alongside math, alongside reading, literature, physics, all that stuff. Also educating the heart, teaching children about attention training and how our attention contributes to our well-being, about um, self regulation, emotional regulation, self-compassion, and then extending that further and further to our communities and interpersonal awareness, compassion for others, resiliency, what it means to be a part of a community, and our role as individuals in a global systems thinking beyond our ourselves, our household, our family, thinking about how everything that we do as an individual is the society, it is the system. So if the individual is stressed out, if the individual doesn't feel supported, if the individual doesn't feel loved, if the individual doesn't feel held, if the individual feels isolated, the individual is struggling with difficult emotions, if the individual is struggling with mental health issues, the individual is struggling with a dysregulated nervous system, if the individual is suffering, then the collective will suffer. It's inevitable. You cannot expect someone like a president, this one individual who might be experiencing all of this inner chaos, to lead a group or people towards peace, towards happiness. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's just not good math. And then when we can see it this way, then we can go, oh, this individual is suffering. So, of course, if this individual is suffering, whatever this individual is responsible for, that's what they will give to everyone and everything around them. We can start to see how our interconnectedness should almost create this feeling of responsibility for each other in a way. It doesn't mean that you neglect yourself and you start to focus on all the people and things around you, but it means that you can understand that you are inherently, whether we want to believe it or not, it's just a fact. It just as it is that we are all interconnected. There's an African proverb that I like very much, and I often think about it, especially as I'm studying and training with Emory University in social, emotional, and ethical learning, which specifically focuses on children and students and educators. Also, like, we all need this. We all need to learn how to educate our heart. We all need to learn. We all need to learn how to educate our heart. It is fundamental to our happiness. We can just observe or think about all the ways in which we have worked and strived to get ahead in life. All the ways. And really honestly ask ourselves, has any of that striving, has all of the hard work that I've done, has all of the countless hours and, feeling isolated because I needed to really push and focus, has that brought me happiness? Has all the money, has it brought me happiness? The point is not to neglect those things. The point is that we also have to bring in education of our heart just as much as we educate our mind and grow in our intelligence to make money, provide resources, to create things and open businesses. And it goes, a child who is not embraced by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. And it's so deeply ingrained. Like, sometimes I can feel myself, I can feel this agitation when I'm a part of something bigger than myself. I can feel this part of myself that's like, no, I just want to do what I want to do. I just want to, like, this is what I want to do right now. This is what is important to me right now. And I can really feel this tension that starts to happen. Like, sometimes if I feel like, "Oh, I just want to be home alone," or actually, no, like, sometimes I am working on something at home and I've probably been all day, the entire day, working on something or just really in my zone, like in my creative zone. And then somebody from the family will stop by. And I can feel like in this moment, I'm just like, I want to finish this now. Like, can you come back later? Like, I want to finish this now. I can feel that type of energy within myself, wanting to do what I want to do. when I want to do it, when I think about interconnectedness, it's our ability to be inconvenienced. Can I be inconvenienced? And I use the word inconvenience because this is what it can feel like, but it's not really what it is actually. But for me, it can feel like I am being inconvenienced when I want to do something, when I have a plan, when I have a direction, when I have this project or this thing that I want to do. And yet I'm in a world surrounded by people and, and other beings. And so it's impossible that everything becomes about me and that in every moment I get what I want and I do the things that get me ahead and that I don't consider the people around me. And so learning to be inconvenienced, enjoying being inconvenienced, all of these inconveniences that on the surface level can feel like a disturbance, but really it's just an insight to our interconnectedness and how we don't live in a vacuum. We live in a world with many other people and things happening all together and all at once that are supporting us, that are bringing us joy and making our lives easier. Can you imagine if you had to make your own coffee in the morning, starting from zero? Like, I mean, starting from literally planting the seed. Can you imagine if you had to prepare your breakfast in the morning, actually starting from zero? Going out, if you eat eggs for breakfast, going out and catching the chicken, raising the chicken, raising the chicken, and then going to catch it so it can lay eggs. And then all the people that are involved in the process of selling, packaging, getting it from the farmer or the farmland, and all of those things. Can you imagine if you had that responsibility? You would completely be inconvenienced. Instead of your breakfast or having your coffee, being able to sit and enjoy your coffee in a nice cafe or coffee shop or pop into Starbucks and spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes waiting for your coffee, that would literally take you all day. And it doesn't, because we are interconnected and because there's so many people who are doing so many things behind the scenes that we are completely unaware of. There's a lot happening all over the world, and especially for me, being born in America, born and raised in America, of course, I hear all of the news and things that are happening there. And although I'm not in the country at the moment, of course, when I hear these things, I'm impacted by them. One of the best things that all of us can do right now, all of us who may be feeling like I don't know where to start or what to do, or this feels too big. This feels beyond me. This feels out of my capacity. Like, how can I do anything about this? And we really don't know what to do about them, and we might really feel inadequate. We might we might feel hopeless. Hopeless that there's literally nothing that we can do. And in times like this, for me, when it feels like I don't know what to do or what can I do, what is there for me to actually do? I think reflecting on our interconnectedness, reflecting on the fact that we don't live in a vacuum, that we are connected to other people, and really allowing that to rest in our heart, allowing that to expand in our entire body, especially because it's so ingrained in us. Some of us, it might not even be something that we willingly signed up for, to want to feel disconnected from people and things, and to want to strive in that particular way towards material gain, getting ahead. Some of us really might not feel inclined to that type of lifestyle. And so if you are feeling very hopeless and not really knowing what you can do, and all of the things that are happening all over the world, actually, it's not even just in America where lots of things are happening, but really taking a few moments every day to think about interconnectedness, to notice how we are deeply connected, all of us, no matter where we are on the planet. And I think the more that we can really bring that into our everyday experience, when we can look at something that we have on, something that is on us, or something that we are using or that we are benefiting from, that's making our lives easier, and we can consider all the people, all the things, like even if you can take a piece of paper out and just pick one thing and just write down all of the things that are contributing to you being able to use that or have access to something, then I think we start to train our mind, train our heart to open more and more. And I think the more our heart opens, then the more clear it becomes what we can actually do to be of service to our fellow human brothers and sisters all over the world and in our communities. And then it loosens this individualistic tightness that we have to protect ourselves, to keep others out, to not consider others. And it might be like you just being that person that can go into the grocery store, like when you were in the grocery store, instead of giving that moment of frustration to that person because their problems or their life doesn't really seem to have any relevance to yours, you might be that one person that just really from the heart level are able to notice that interconnection that you and that person have, how you're both benefiting each other, and be able to just give a smile or say something kind, be one less person providing tension, frustration, anger, suffering in the world. And this is already an incredible step to being able to do something in the world, being one less person to create suffering for another person, to create a problem for another person, to give someone our anger, to give someone our frustration, to give someone our hatred. So many of us are living in isolation, are living feeling empty, feeling disconnected from people, feeling like we don't have anyone, feeling like we're not supported, and just feeling like we don't have any purpose. So many of us are living this way in the name of being independent, because we've learned that we have to be independent, that we are independent, that everything is up to us. If we want to succeed in this world, if we want to do good in this world, if we want to get ahead in this world and be successful and have fame and raise the bar, then we have to focus on ourselves. We have to be independent. We have to be willing to step on other people's toes. We have to be willing to shut other people out. We have to be willing to close ourselves off to other people. We have to stop assuming that success or a successful life equals an independent life.